Watching Kyle's unboxing videos again?
Yeah, he always finds the coolest... No way! A robot dog? Gotta ask where he got it.
Or use your Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Just draw a circle around the dog on your screen, and it shows you where to buy it right in the app.
Whoa, I just learned a new trick. And that for once, I beat Kyle to the next big thing.
Circle it, find it with the new Galaxy S24 Ultra and circle the search with Google. Get yours now at Samsung.com. Internet connection required. Results may vary based on visuals.
How has football not taken off during COVID?
You haven't won a trophy. You've won promotion.
I've seen him twice, Timmy Mallet. He opened up the Millgate shopping centre.
Oh, really? This isn't a podcast. Think you'll find. This is a business meeting.
You leave Ryan Reynolds alone. He's been through a lot this season.
Can't wait for them to have to act that out on the charades round of A Question of Sport.
Half-time bullseye, why not?
Or could you win a speedboat? Forgot Les Parry took charge.
I've got a pair of his shorts upstairs somewhere.
Hello everyone and welcome to the very first episode of the brand new rebranded It's Only a Game podcast. I am Jimmy, I'm joined by Matt, Dak and Greg. How are we all, gents?
Bloody hot. It's too hot. Don't like it.
I love it.
Sticky weather.
Matt, do you want to tell everyone that you're in, well, where you are?
I'm sat in the garden doing this because it's nice and cool in the garden. I'm not sat up in a bedroom sweating my arse off. Al fresco. I'm doing it the Italian way.
Someone's not a good router.
It is, tell a lie. I'm Sky Broadband. I'm very impressed. I was in two minds about doing it, but it's stretched this far. Can't complain.
This episode is sponsored by Sky Broadband. Do you want to do your podcast outside? Get Sky Broadband or PlusNet or any other internet providers, but not TalkTalk. But we're not going to go into that, right?
Yeah, TalkTalk's crap. No decent TalkTalk.
Yeah,
not good.
Bloody rubbish.
Yeah, if TalkTalk actually do want to sponsor us for any money, then great. But please,
they won't.
Otherwise, no, we don't want to know. Go away.
We never get the email.
No, that's it. No, yeah, true. It wouldn't actually arrive, would it? Anyway, Dak, Greg. How's things? How's your summer going? How's the
Not too bad. Just started my 6-week holidays today. Last day in work. So I can start to look forward to the new season a little bit now.
Nice one.
All good. Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, as Dak finishes one job, Greg, you've started another. You've started your job as your own personal barber.
Yeah, I just got fed up with my hair and decided to cut it myself. Shell was sort of like, don't do it. No, you'll be fine. Like, don't do it. It's not as long as you think. And I said, I just want about that much cutting off it. And then I did, and it was actually all right in the end. But I think that's because I cut it twice over lockdown and see myself as some sort of a hairdresser, but obviously I'm not. But yeah, it'll do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the vintage Greg in your life, where I remember your uni days where you used to regularly use the clippers on yourself. So
yeah,
it's not that much of a shock to me that actually you are quite the
which hair?
Looking for quite the
my back, Matt.
Well, I start as you mean to go on, boys. Right, so we're just gonna have hair removal cream sponsors instead.
Yeah.
Right.
Should we go into quickly why we changed the name? Is that an idea?
Yeah, I think it'll be good to explain that. Go on, Matt.
Let's quickly just go into why we changed the name. Well, we figured because Deck has now joined us as a permanent host.
Fixture.
Deck annoyingly doesn't support a team who plays in blue. For God's sake.
They did for a while in the late 80s.
They did, but again, that'd be a slight reference. And we figured we'd just branch out and make it more of a football-themed podcast. We were thinking of a name, and as a classic thing that mums used to say to us, and still does, it's only a game, lads. So we thought, you know what, it's only a game, fits it pretty well. We don't take ourselves too seriously. And was going to sit here and chat rubbish about football for an hour and a half. Yeah, pubes 5 minutes in. And this is it. Yeah. It'll be mainly pube-related content, guys, going forward.
It's only a pube.
Honestly, yeah, you can't.
I think the heat's got to us, guys. I think the 40-degree heat yesterday, guys, has definitely got to us.
I do sincerely apologise for my own actions.
Hey, Greg, Rochdale was 38.7 yesterday. I'm melting in Rochdale.
In Rochdale, than it was in Ibiza
yesterday. Higher
yesterday.
Degrees than points you got on it.
It was, yeah, absolutely, yeah, probably. It was hotter in Rochdale yesterday than it was in Ibiza. Take that for what you will.
Oof. Well, bit of a choice there.
Who needs to go on holiday?
Yeah, go on holiday to Rochdale. Imagine that.
Costa del Rockadale.
Oh dear.
That's up there with Rocheferret.
Rocheferret, yeah.
Rocheferret.
French version.
Superb. Well, on the old lifts on Merseyrail, when you get on it, like James Street or whatever, you go down in the lift and it'd list off all the names, and whatever woman they got to do the recording must have been a Tory, and pronounced Rocheferret as Rocheferret.
Rocheferret.
And it's stuck.
It was definitely Hyacinth Bouquet, wasn't it? Who, funny enough, is from around the Wirral area.
They could get Boris Johnson to do the next recordings. He hasn't got a job anymore.
No, he needs the money, doesn't he? Or does he? Hey.
What, hasta la vista? That's what he said in his leaving speech. If anything sums up Boris,
the breaks.
That is that. Them are the breaks.
Boris Johnson and Pubes is the two opening themes.
And
both very similar.
Well, if you're still listening, then I commend you, because Boris Johnson and Pubes are not things that... Well, you know what? I'm not going to even finish that sentence. Right, let's actually get on to the football. So, basically, the idea is, as Matt has alluded to with this podcast now, is we're not going to just focus on Everton and Rochdale. We will discuss Everton, we will discuss Rochdale, we will discuss Tranmere, we'll discuss a lot of football, because let's be honest, there's so much mad stuff in football that happens on a regular basis that we figured it's worth just branching out to. And obviously, if you guys have got questions, listeners, or, I'm sure you've got many questions at the moment after listening to the first 5 minutes of this nonsense, but yeah, if you guys have got anything you want to say, or, any questions or any stories, anything at all, really, that you'd like to bring to our attention, then we are always more than welcome to have your input. But I think we'll start just by looking at the new season in general. And we can pick wherever we want to start, really, Premier League, National League, wherever. But I just think, what's something you're looking forward to this season? Could be a team, could be a competition, just anything at all that any of you lads have thought about that you're really looking forward to seeing this season during the league season.
I'm looking forward to Barcelona trying to actually justify their accounts after buying Lewandowski, Rafinha, whoever else, because they've gone from having no money to spending a lot of it in the space of about 2 weeks, and I cannot quite figure out how. That's going to be an interesting one come Christmas. How the hell they're going to swing it.
Yeah. I don't understand Barcelona's transfer policy. Are they going for young players? Are they going for old players? It's great. They are literally the epitome of throw enough shit at a wall, something's going to stick. They've got Aubameyang and Lewandowski, which was great about 10 years ago, but now they're both going to be playing for the main man in the dressing room. I honestly, they've got two lads from, on a free, Christensen and I've forgotten the other one now. Frank Kessie. And it's just like, what are you doing? It's really cobbled together squad. When they've got no money, it's the point where Bayern Munich have gone, yeah, we'll accept your Lewandowski bid because we don't think you're going to exist in 2 years. It's just like, what is going on there? This is Barcelona we're talking about. So, it's going to be weird. That it is weird.
Apart from obviously Barcelona, a big name in world football. I was thinking about this the other day. Why has Lewandowski gone? Because surely it's a safer bet staying at Bayern Munich, you'd have thought. Or am I missing something there? Fair enough, it's Barcelona, but at the same time, Munich are a big side, aren't they?
It looks like he's gone because he's basically achieved everything he can possibly achieve at Bayern Munich. Like, I can't see what else he could really do. Because they're going to win the league this season, unless someone steps up, but odds are they're going to win the league. So he's probably I just thought I fancy a new challenge. But I'm with you, Greg. It was a strange one when it popped up. And the fact that he was really pushing for it. But I suppose Barcelona, regardless of the mess they're in, are still Barcelona. We can't talk as Everton fans.
Yeah, he's always fancied to move to Spain. But that's what makes me laugh. He's always fancied to move to Spain. And I think a lot of players who do fancy move to Spain, which two clubs they're talking about. They're not fussy either way. But the thing is... But, you should be one or the other, really, because they're such arch enemies. He's just taking his chance to go, and I can't say I blame him. He's on decent money. Bayern get a good amount from as well. I think it's about 60-odd million, including add-ons. So for a 34-year-old now? I think it's the second most expensive transfer fee for a 32-year-old or above. Obviously, Ronaldo to Juve being the most expensive. Yeah, so he's 33, so it's pretty expensive for a player of his age. But also, he's an absolute machine, and he's signed a 4-year contract. And if you're telling me you don't think at 37 he will still be banging them in, I think he will be, because he's not a normal 30. He's not a normal 33-year-old. He's an absolute machine. That guy. He's probably got his last World Cup coming up in the summer, winter even. Sorry, that was a slip of the tongue. And I think, a chance to rebuild Barcelona. Christ knows in what image, because the scattergun approach is just like Everton circa 2017. But I mean, it's Barcelona. You wouldn't say no, but part of me was thinking, is it a bit of a backward step at the moment? Because Bayern Munich are Bayern bloody Munich, and they're, we'll get on to maybe whether they might win the league or not this year in Germany at some point. I have a couple of questions about that, but it was a very weird move, but it's been on the cards for ages, hasn't it? Really, with him being a bit restless in Munich, and now he just wants a new challenge, which I think again is fair enough, like you say.
It's a strange one, but it's very Barcelona at the moment. Who else? They've signed Rafinha from Leeds. What was that? 70 odd million, something like that. There's still talks of De Jong going to United. With Rafinha, I like Rafinha for 70 odd million. Euros? Call it 60 million quid, whatever it is. I suppose Leeds probably set their price knowing that he was going to go at some point, and someone paid it. Leeds are again a team they've sold big money for two big players this summer for big money, but they set their price, and Barcelona for some reason paid it. But there you go.
Well, there was a market for Rafinha, there wasn't there, because Arsenal and Chelsea were interested, so they were able to put the price up Leeds because they knew there was a few suitors. Yeah, defo. Speaking of Leeds, I have to admit, I'm excited to see Leeds this season. I don't know why or how, as in, they're either going to be absolutely brilliant, or they're going to get a record loads point totally down by Christmas. I can't work it out, because they've obviously sold Phillips to City, they've sold Rafinha to Barcelona, they've reinvested in what players everyone seems to be from a Red Bull team, because Jesse Marsh was in the Red Bull group for a time. I like Tyler Adams. I wish we'd have signed him. I liked him at Leipzig. Can't say no too much about the others though, which could be a good thing. Could be an absolute disaster, because obviously players coming in from abroad to the Premier League can take time to adapt. And also, as a mixture of that, the Jesse Marsh sort of Ted Lasso type optimism, and knowing that even though he's been gone for a little while, there's still in that squad that lingering sense of Bielsa about them. And you just know they're going to spank some teams, probably going to go to someone 4-0 this year, but they're going to lose about 7-0 at some point, because they're just going to go all out attack without their main attacking threat in Rafinha, and without their home midfielder in Phillips anymore. So I just think they're going to be really fun to watch, whether it's just them getting smashed each week, or whether the game is going to be real ding-dong battles. I'm looking forward to see how they do, genuinely. Plus, it's Leeds.
Phillips is a big loss for them, as proven last season. He didn't play a lot last season, and it showed that they really missed him and Patrick Bamford, who they've got back this season, I assume. But they're an interesting setup, because, like I said, they've bought about 7 or 8 players this summer. They've bought quite a lot. You have to FOTMOP that for me to double check it. I'm pretty sure they've bought quite a few players, albeit I agree, all from the Red Bull structure in some capacity. But they needed to invest. They had to show that the money they were selling those 2 players for was going back into that squad. And it could work out, or it could be a case of we're in 2017, was 2016, 17, where you spend too much on too much and it never gels. And here we are, 5 years later, stuck in the same rut of trying to get rid of some deadwood. But who knows? Who knows?
I've seen one player they have signed, actually. I'll tell a lie. One player I'm looking forward to seeing, actually, is Luis Sinisterra from Feyenoord, who I do like the look of. Really tricky winger. But again, Eredivisie tax. Is he going to be, the rule is from coming from the Netherlands, either fantastic or they absolutely bomb it and a shite, Davy Klaassen. Yeah. Anyone else looking forward to anything else this season? Anything in football at all? Go on, Dak.
Yeah, quite looking forward to seeing how Forest are on, to be honest. I think we alluded to it a little bit in the previous podcast in terms of obviously that we were all fairly happy that they'd gone up. None of us with any kind of affiliation to them, but just seeing that kind of old school team back up in the Prem, it'd be interesting to see how they get on. Not too sure in terms of recruitment, how many players that they brought in, but just be interesting to kind of see that. They had a really good push and track at obviously promotion after a bad start in the Championship, and just kind of see how they get on. And I always feel like teams like that, where they're not necessarily a yo-yo team, but just to see how they get on and really to test the level and standard of the Prem. So one for me to watch out for, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree. They're linked with Jesse Lingard, I saw this afternoon, which is an interesting one. Then I looked at how much Jesse Lingard is looking to get a week, and I realised that Forest are not going to give him 180 grand a week. Or if they do, they're bloody mental to give him
Not many clubs will.
You say that, Everton probably would.
Yeah, we classically would. If we had that money anymore, we would. Yeah.
100%.
Well, if we were allowed to spend it.
It's that whole thing.
By the way?
Oh, sorry. Go on, Jim.
No, go on. No, you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that it's that whole thing, isn't it, of, a team like that has gone up probably unexpectedly so, if you look at the start of the seasons in terms of their aspirations and so on. Did he go up and below the promotion money? Or did he go up, try and stay up with the team that they've got, maybe one or two players come in, but not too many, and then look to invest? And obviously, if they go down from the Prem, you've got enough money there to really build a solid, self-sustained Championship club pushing Prem. So it's one of those, isn't it? It'll be interesting to see what they do, whether they do with Norwich and, sit on the money in the back pocket, or whether they go up and blow it all. It'll be interesting.
I think they've bought quite well. Henderson on loan is a
players,
good one.
Haven't they?
Henderson in goal is a good loan, especially for him as well as more than anyone else who's getting regular football, because he's not going to get at United anytime soon. I think that's a really good buy on loan. If there's a fee in there at some point, great if you stay up. I'm looking forward to Forest again. It'd be nice to have them back as it seems daft in a different team in the Premier League, because they're not. Obviously, they're regulars, but it's been such a long time to have them back, a bit like Leeds were a couple of seasons ago. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. And they've got to be fun seeing the likes of City, Liverpool, etc., the bigger teams go in there, and Forest will be well up for that based on the FA Cup games in recent years as well.
The derbies with Leicester as well, especially after the cup game last season.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I'm really looking forward to seeing up front for them. Taiwo Awoniyi, I can't say his name, probably Nigerian international from Union Berlin. Every time I watched the Bundesliga highlights last season, Awoniyi had to be scoring for Union, who actually were ended up in the Europa League. I think they came 6th or 5th in the Bundesliga last season, which for a relatively small provincial club from Berlin is a hell of an effort, seeing as he only came up from the Bundesliga, the Zweite Bundesliga, about 2-3 seasons ago. I'm looking forward to seeing how he gets on. He spent 20 million quid on him. But I have to applaud the Forest admin on Twitter for the shithousery today, keeping it really current. Little backstory: Forest beat Huddersfield in the league. I think it was not the playoff final in the league back in March, and there was a Turkish chippy place, but they set off fireworks because they beat Huddersfield in a league game, which really wound up the Huddersfield supporters. Now today, they announced the signing of 2 Huddersfield players with a firework emoji. Both Harry Toffolo and Lewis O'Brien have signed from Huddersfield to Nottingham Forest.
Nice
and I
touch.
have to absolutely applaud the Forest shithousery there. Fair play to you. And that's why I hope they stay up.
Top quality admin work, that. Along similar lines.
There's some good admin work.
And a bit of a different kit release. Bristol Rovers released their away kit yesterday by filming someone spray painting a mural of all of their famous old players wearing the new kit. Thought it was quite an unusual take on it. Looks quite good. How long it stays there for, I don't know, but something different.
Who knows? I'd be well up for seeing that. I've not seen that. That's really good, yeah.
I've got one in keeping in the theme of Championship clubs. I'm quite interested to see how John Dal Thomas does with Blackburn Rovers as the head coach. I don't think he's had a big team. I don't think he's not been a manager of a big team. Well, I said big team.
I think you'll find Mulder in Norway. Is it Malmo? Sorry, in Sweden.
Sorry,
even.
yeah. Malmo.
I think Malmo. Yeah, he's former manager of Malmo, wasn't he? Yeah.
I think that's going to be quite interesting. That because I was taking a look at the Championship before, and you look at how many teams are in the Championship that you could say if you sort of cancel each other out a little bit. There's so many somewhat names in there that used to be in the Premier League, and obviously last pod we talked about Sunderland, but I'm just going through the list of the Championship. You got Wigan, West Brom, Watford, Sunderland, Stoke, Sheffield United, QPR, Preston, Middlesbrough, Huddersfield, Blackburn. There's Burnley, obviously. There's going to be some tasty games in there, I think, in the weeks and months ahead. But I think that's going to be an interesting one because...
Well, Norwich are going to win it because it's Norwich.
Probably.
Watford are dead set, aren't they?
Norwich and the Fulham Norwich thing where they just swap places.
The Fulham Norwich conundrum where they just swap every season. All right, mate. Yeah. See you this time next year.
Passing ships. I quite fancy the chances, I don't know why, but of Swansea. I don't know whether they might kick on a little bit. But hopefully the season's slightly better than the kits that they've released because they are an eyesore, to say the least. Shocking. No. And the new badge is no better.
The new badge is just the old badge with a slightly blue background in it. Now, they've got Joe Allen back, who I think will be an absolute metronome in the Championship. They've got Joel Pirro up front, who I really like. And Russell Martin's a good manager. He's got a good ground and he's done well with them last season. And I do fancy Swansea for the playoffs, I have to admit. In the same vein that
5-1 at the minute for promotion.
Yeah,
5-1.
That'd be a decent shout. And I think Watford will struggle. I think the new manager will be gone within like 6 months. Sorry to say.
There's a lot of pressure in there.
Forest Green. Like we spoke about. Yeah,
Rob Edwards from Forest Green.
I don't think he'll. I can't. There's so much competition in the Championship, you know.
Yeah, but their owners are so just trigger happy. It's like, unless you're performing, they'd have to really be up in at least the playoffs by Christmas for him to keep in his job. He could be gone by October. I mean, speaking of the Championship, I'm quite intrigued to see Vincent Kompany at Burnley.
Yes.
I like that as an appointment because I quite like Vincent Kompany. He could be crap. I just quite like Vincent Kompany.
Just to elaborate on separate points there, Matt, I'm intrigued to see the East Lancs derby between Burnley and Blackburn. John Dahl Thomason versus Vincent Kompany.
Yes.
That's going to be tasty, that.
That must be a TV job.
We get that as a league. As a league fixture for the first time in years. I love that derby. They hate each other. It's brilliant. They bloody hate each other. It's great.
I went to
very long time.
A couple of months ago. I went to a Preston game with one of my mates because he lives up that way. Preston QPR, and we went round a few pubs around Preston afterwards. And I think Blackpool were playing. Oh, who were they playing? Blackpool were playing Blackburn. And it just absolutely kicked off in the centre of Preston because you had them all sort of travelling in between the sort of Preston somewhat. So it was like 4 sets of fans kick. It was weird. There's some sort of Mike Bassett behaviour going on there.
I was going to say Mike Bassett.
Was it like the airport? I was about to say, was it the airport team from Mike Bassett?
Hey, it's the Blackpool
big team. You're a cockney, you mag.
Something like that. But it was weird because it's like...
You're a Fenian. I'm a Fenian.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like that. It was sort of like... Lancashire teams, but Mike Bassett Lancashire teams in an airport or something.
Basically, Mike Bassett meets Phoenix Knights, essentially, was what you're trying to say.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's a crossover we all need.
That
is absolutely a crossover we all need. Let's make it happen. If anyone's listening that can make that happen, please do it.
There's the name of the pod, gents. When Mike Bassett meets Phoenix Knights. Yeah.
Yes.
There's
a
is.
Fixture for us all to get that on TV. What a fixture. Championship's always a weird one to call, isn't it, really?
It's never bang.
It's a fantastic league. No, I mean, who had like the teams that went up in the end? Who had Forest, especially when they were bottom league, when the Chris Hughton, a few games gone, going up. Who had Huddersfield and Luton in the playoffs last season? Hardly anyone really. It is always fascinating to see, and I'm just glad that Everton aren't in it. Personally,
that's all about it.
Just
cutting it fine for the
really. It was we nearly had a derby with Wigan this season. That would have been embarrassing. But hey, there's always this year to get relegated. It's looking that way as well.
I mean, struck down the leagues again. I hope Derby have a good season. I think just after last season, that was such a tough one. They've got new owners. I think I'm right in saying now.
Yeah, brings us nicely into League One. To be fair,
that's what I was thinking.
They're one of the odds-on favourites to go up. It pains me to say this.
Great players.
Pains me. I think Bolton are going to have a very good season.
I would agree. They didn't have a bad season last year. Even League One, they would.
True.
Ian Everett's done a solid job there, and they've recruited well.
Yeah. I hope I'm wrong, but I do. They're due another good
Cambridge,
season.
Is it somebody they've got? I think, and I think they're going back up again.
I'm also sort of looking at Charlton a little bit. They've just signed our captain a few months ago, O'Connell, who's quite a good player. and he sort of did look a little bit out of place in League Two. Obviously, he has played in League One with Dale, but that's a nice little signing for Charlton, I think. But I think they'll be there or thereabouts, Charlton, possibly, but not obviously not on a derby level, you know.
I'll tell you who will be there. I think Sheffield Wednesday. I know they missed out the playoffs last year, but they've signed
They'll win it.
Michael Smith from Rotherham, a Hickway from Rotherham, Will Vauxhall from Cardiff, so a few Tranmere connections there, and obviously they love signing the Rotherham players. Is absolutely, you know, again, peak shithousery. And there are other players as well they've signed. And I just think they've got a squad like Derby. I think that's a good Championship squad. Never mind League One. And I do fancy the likes of Derby, Sheffield. I know it's the big club bias. You can say in League One it's the classic league where Ipswich are going to do well and all that because it's a big club in a small division. But I actually think they've got the means in the squad. If they can start well, that's the thing. If they can start well, and I include Ipswich with this because they just never seem to start well in League One. If they can start well, they will. There's no reason why some sides can't smash that league and it will be, well, quite one-sided or two-sided this year.
I think so, because you look at League One, obviously it is a difficult league, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's like the Championship where it's a difficult game every other week. The Championship, I would say, because the variables of the Championship where you get Wigan, Preston, whatever, Burnley, like we're talking about, QPR, that's obviously something else. But obviously we've seen a few games in League One over the years, haven't we, with different teams, but it's just random. Like, you look at it there, you've got Barnsley, obviously Bolton, but then you've got like Accrington and Fleetwood and Wickham, and it's just it's quite a bit of it is such a mixed bag, League One, I'd say.
It's always a tough one to call, those lower leagues in particular, because of how competitive they are. You never really have. It's rare. I mean, it's rare you get teams that are really running away with it by Christmas. It's always, or if they are, I mean, Tranmere are a good example of that last season before where it was, where they were up at the top in the top six and then just fell away a bit. But they're always tough ones to call, and anyone that does call them correctly, fair play to them. Unless it's someone really obvious who's come down, or if an upper league, I should say, and then has kept that squad together. It's always a tough one to predict.
Well, I think that's where the likes of Forest Green are really hard to predict. I know they've lost a fair few players. They've lost their manager. They've got the lad from Notts County, Ian Birchnell, who I really like I really rate as a manager. He's done a lot of job abroad. Did a decent job at Notts County. Was unlucky not to go up with them from the National League. But then, is it one of those with the budget only stretches so far? They're a weird one then, because obviously they've been like quite a big spending fish in the last few years in the 5th and 4th tier. Have they sort of reached their nadir now, and they're going to do like a Dagenham or, you know, a Stevenage in the past where they've got so far Crawley, and then sort of get to League One and think, we can't get any further than this realistically without serious investment. You know, like a lot of their best players have moved on now, arguably, as well as, of course, the managers we alluded to. So they'll be an interesting one to see whether they crash and burn, or, you know, they could hold their own. Who knows? I know, Dak, you were saying last season when Forest Green run away the league, you still reckon they'll flop miserably in League One. I don't know if you still believe that, or...
Yeah, I mean, you've all hit the nail on the head there. It's going to be a very, very difficult one for us to kind of predict, but I can't see, with the number of big teams in League One, and I know they're not all going to have good seasons, but it's a big, big step up from League Two. I don't think the recruitment in terms of players out to players in bodes particularly well for them. Obviously, you know, signed a couple of players, but I do think they'll struggle. Whether they'll come back down, I really don't know. Looking in that league, you know, there's a few teams that are a lot worse off than them, who you kind of put your mortgage on going down. Just kind of looking briefly. Just trying to get the league up off the top of my head. Can't think. League One. Professional as always, boys.
Always.
Morecambe, Cheltenham, Cambridge, Exeter, Vale. I think Vale will stay up. I think they're much more likely to stay up than Forest Green, to be quite honest. I know it makes no difference on the pitch, but their fan base and just the size of the club, and they've got real momentum behind them, whereas Forest Green were kind of up and around there for a few years before they've actually done it. Vale have kind of come from nowhere
as well up front for Vale because he's promised so much down the years. Had so many injuries and stuff and many loan spells going from Man United. I fancy him to have a really good season and really prove why he was at United Academy and so well fancied for many years.
Yeah. So yeah, it's again hard to predict, but I can see Forest Green. I can see them staying up, but they won't do it comfortably. I think it'll just be a case of that there are teams there worse than them. Yeah.
Well, of course, in League One this season, we've now got a very fiery fixture that's going to need quite a police presence. And that is when Joey Barton, the manager of Bristol Rovers, goes to Fleetwood, his old manager club, because the Fleetwood Town manager is none other than former Celtic captain Scott Brown. So...
Oh, is it? Oh, that's going to be brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
To be a fly on the wall in that tunnel.
Oh, someone's getting sparked out. Scott Brown,
Arsenal Man U, circa 2004-5.
I'm absolutely here for it. Absolutely here for it. I'm just gutted that we're not going to get Wayne Rooney versus Joey Barton and Scott Brown as well, because that would have just been like
that would have been
hilarious. Yeah, just throw Rebecca Vardy in there and just let all shit go off. It'd be great.
All police leave would have been cancelled that weekend. They'd have all been drafted in.
Oh my god, it would have been hilarious. Oh god. Yeah. Right, so I think on to the best league in the world. The greatest league in the world. League 2.
Pinnacle.
The absolute peak of English football. I won't hear anything else. Dak, Greg, well, Matt, you can join as well. I'm going to let you guys take it away. Obviously, League 2 is your area of quote-unquote expertise. Be as unbiased as you can, lads. What do you think's going to happen in League 2 this year?
We won't tell anyone if you're biased.
Yeah, I'm going to be very non-biased. To be quite honest, our recruitment at the minute is of a big concern. We've let a lot of players go. The players that we brought in, bar one, look to be of a decent standard. Some good-looking players, change the system, it looks like, but nowhere near enough to even be challenging playoffs for me at the minute. So I'm not gonna even call where we're gonna finish. It could be one of those seasons where we really surprise ourselves and something clicks, but at the minute there's not enough goals in that team. For me anyway. I think Stockport, if they don't win it, they're going to be right up there. They've got a lot of momentum behind them. They've not really lost any key players, and they've done nothing but build on the squad that they had. I think they're definitely capable of doing what we did coming up from non-league and going back-to-back, possibly even going one better and actually either winning a title or getting automatic. They'll definitely be up and around there. I know we said it pretty much all the way through last season. I really think Bradford are going to be up there as well this season. Their recruitment so far seems to have been quite good. Mark Hughes seems to... I don't know whether he's drawn some big players in because of his name, but I just can't see them not performing well. I don't know, Mansfield. Mansfield looked solid last season, as did Northampton, but I think Mansfield maybe have just got that little bit more of an edge behind them. Play attractive football, fairly well followed, and so on. But yeah, it's anyone's game. You've got, again, big teams drop down now into our league. I mean, Swindon, they're always going to be knocking on the door. Doncaster aren't the bookies' favourites, but, you know, another big side, they like to yo-yo quite a bit. Grimsby, they're not going to do a back-to-back. No chance. No,
I think the problem with Swindon is Charlton seems to have signed half their squad.
Yeah.
From the looks of it. Every time I look on social media, Charlton signed up a Swindon player, I'm like, alright, cool. The point where they even did a skit. I don't know if you saw it the other day. Charlton signed one. I can't remember which Swindon player it was now. They did a skit on The Office. If you go back and watch it, they actually got The Office involved as to reference Swindon in it, and it was just so funny. Fair play to him. Another one of those interesting transfer announcements. One side I'm gonna say that I reckon might do really well this year, and I'm gonna get a bit of hate for this because it's a club that it's not Salford.
Can I guess?
Go on then.
Is it Crawley?
No, it's not Crawley. Although it's
Is it Wimbledon?
No, it's not.
Is it Barrow? Is it Bradford? Is it Carlisle? Is it Colchester?
That's on my list. That's on my list. Stevenage. I've got Stevenage. Wildcard for me.
Think what you want about Steve Evans, and we do. Yes. I think if you look, they've got Max Clark from Dale.
He's a gammon.
Back, who he's a complete gammon in a
He's king of the gammons.
Oh, yeah.
He is the gammon king of the gammon.
Gammon king. That's the title.
The gammonry.
Eating
Anyway,
a few gammons as well, by the looks of it.
Yeah, just a few. Absolutely.
Gammon king.
Jesus, yeah. No, we It's Only a Game podcast. Do not fat shame. Okay, can we just point out before any lawyers come at us?
What if
I was just alluding that he liked his food. Yeah. Nothing to do with his weight.
I wasn't shaming him.
We're not shaming.
We applaud.
We're actually applauding him.
We're actually admiring how he can be a sportsman.
You keep eating.
How he can be that
professional sports person in that shape. It's it's not darts. That's quite impressive. But yeah, Michael Bostwick. I really like Danny Rose from Northampton. I really like him for centre forward. The big one for me though is a player who I really liked the look of last season when we went to the Everton Bournemouth game. That's Kane Smith, the right back. Who was also
he was a good talent. He's blue, isn't he?
He's gone.
He looked very good.
He's gone to Stevenage. I think if injuries, he doesn't get injured. He's only 26, as you can tell because I'm looking at my phone to do this. Obviously, I had this all researched, I think he's a cracking fullback, and I think he could kick on above the league. But I think Stevenage have recruited, considering I've been quoted as saying on this podcast many times, can we not lash them into non-league? They are irrelevant, this nondescript southern town club. I actually think they do really well this year, and they're an outside bet for playoffs, I think.
There you have it, folks. The betting tip for the season. If you want to lose your house, back Crawley.
Yeah, if you want to lose Crawley, back Crawley, because they're owned by cryptocurrency, so that's going to go well. The NFT market, I believe, is going superbly at the moment. Not that I know enough about it, but I think it is. Am I right in thinking NFTs and crypto is absolutely going through the floor at the moment? Anyone know anything about
it's volatile.
It's crashing.
Volatile.
Anyone?
Like the rest of the economy.
Yeah. Petrol, avocados, everything.
It's fine, guys.
Even carrier bags have gone up.
Shocking.
Oh, don't tell me that, Deck.
Rats.
Speaking of NFTs,
price of talc next, Greg.
You'll have seen. No. Speaking of NFTs, I posted this on the group chat the other day. Has anyone seen the Nottingham Forest T-shirt that they released?
What, the NF?
Yes.
Yeah, the National Front.
A white T-shirt with a red NF on it.
Read the room, guys. Read the room. There must have been a marketing meeting and someone's gone, hang on a minute, guys. NF, doesn't it mean something back in the 80s?
It looks a bit National Fronty. Seeing as Forest Golden era was in the late 70s and early 80s.
I'm going to say.
You'd think they'd know
as
what
was
the
an National Front's Golden era.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Clanger.
Oh my God, it was like, no, they haven't.
That's definitely been a hungover Monday morning choice, that, hasn't it? Just, right.
Yeah, we need something.
Who can design a T-shirt in 3 seconds? Let's put an N and an F next to each other. Oh, yeah, that looks good. Print that. It's like a year 10 textiles design.
This isn't football related, but it kind of works in the same thing. I went to see a concert a couple of years ago, and Jimmy Eat World were the support act. And the guy, the lead singer, said, he goes, right, guys, if you're picking a band name, just think about it, look at it when it's an acronym. Which takes a second to kick in, and we all went, what's it about? Oh, Jimmy Eat World. Yeah, he goes, you can't put that on a T-shirt. I was like, it's a very, very good point. So yeah, I can see Nottingham Forest pain.
Good God.
Yeah, can we just point out, I think they have pulled it from the website now, I believe.
I'm not surprised.
Will come down on us.
I'd like to know who's buying them.
The T-shirts? The people. But probably National Front members if they're still knocking about.
Most likely, yeah. Oh dear.
Speaking of merchandise shockers, Tranmere have decided, the little card wallets that you put your season tickets in, the plastic 3p things, basically weaker than not even a bag for life, right? Have decided to charge the fans £4 a pop for one of those this season.
£4.
So someone on Twitter who'll remain anonymous, any Tranmere listeners will know exactly who I'm on about, replied to it with a picture of a hot dog bun and said that he was selling a TRFC officially endorsed hot dog holder for £3.50.
Love it.
£4 a pop.
Love it.
Unbelievable. And the fella in front of me in the queue the other day bought 3 of them. So he's clearly not feeling the pinch.
Wow.
Someone's making
money to burn.
It's a hardship, aren't they? Can he sponsor the podcast?
Could have bought us Norwood with that money.
Go on, Matt. What was that?
I mean, most Premier League clubs these days, if you get a season ticket, I assume most these days try and give you a phone QR code. because I think Everton do that. Last time I checked, I'm pretty sure most Premier League clubs do it. So I'm surprised that people haven't gone, yeah, it's the same sort of thing. So I'm guessing you've not got the holder deck now.
No, thanks to Boris Johnson, no, I can't afford it. And I think if Sunak gets in, I'll probably have to hand him my season ticket at Christmas.
Yeah.
Just frightening, boys.
The hilarity of him saying, I'm going to fix the economy.
What was that, Jimmy?
You've been in charge. So why would Rishi Sunak be managing Tranmere?
I hope that Roddy's not managing the finances.
Oh, God.
Here's a point of irony there of him pointing out that he's going to fix the economy. Yeah, him saying he's going to fix the economy, and it's been him in charge of it.
Yeah, interesting that, isn't it?
You've not been chanced for the last 3 years, have you, Rishi? No, it's fine. No. But we are not a politics podcast. We can be if you
but
want.
we will rip anyone to pieces that deserves it.
Anyone, regardless of political allegiance, we will rip anyone.
Don't make a difference.
Don't make a difference to us what colour rosette you like to wear. We will rip you, because if you're a knobhead, you're a knobhead. Right. Any further thoughts on League Two? Because for me, yes. I think Crewe might double dip. That is not a euphemism. I think they will drop right the way through, because
dirty buggers.
They've got the average squad. No. They've got the squad age of about 12, which say no more.
Just going with the you were talking about Crawley before, and obviously the NFT stuff, and we know that it's quite somewhat. I mean, I don't really know a lot about NFT and all that kind of stuff, but all I know is it's quite volatile. They had. I'm sure they had one of the owners, or the owner of Crawley Town, on one of the. Is it the Lower League Look podcast? I don't know if anyone listens to that. And he was talking like a really good game. I'm thinking, bloody hell, you've done. Not that I'm not condoning NFT and all that kind of rubbish, but it was just like, bloody hell, he's got it somewhat sussed out. Like, because he's an American lad. I don't know if anyone knows a lot about him, and he was just saying that how. It's really difficult to take over a club in America or any sport, and you need absolute billions apparently, or quite a lot of money anyway, shall we say? And he said it was just somewhat of an easy hit, just to go right, Crawley, bang, we can have that, and go try and get up the leagues. And he was trying to I'm sure he was talking about what team they were thinking about taking over, and they said it would have been easy to take over a Portuguese side because they could have smashed it into the Champions League. I was thinking, how are you coming up with these type of theories of? I thought that's interesting.
It's like he's gone out to buy a meal for one. He started an M&S and he's ended up with a tin of Bob's Bastard Beans. That's what's happened there.
Well, it is. Well, I mean, obviously, if he's talking about Sporting Lisbon, and then he's like,
can you imagine coming home to the missus? Love, I've got a great idea. We're going to buy Sporting Lisbon. Oh, brilliant! Yeah, Portuguese holiday. Can't wait. Oh, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, we haven't bought Sporting Lisbon, but we bought. Yeah, Crawley. No, right, Crawley. It's like the Sporting Lisbon of England. It's exactly the same. Lisbon and Crawley are twinned.
He's just gone on eBay, hasn't he? And gone sort via finishes soon, finishes first, and just bought whatever's going. That'll do. Free postage and packaging. I'll have 2 of them. Classic. Speaking of which, we were once put up on sale on eBay when we were desperate for a owner. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't someone do it as a joke?
No, it was legitimate. Just before.
Oh, it was legit. I thought it was a piss take.
No, we were up on eBay. No bids. No bids. Shocking.
You're not tempted.
No. Not at £4 a pop for a season ticket card holder.
No, you can't.
Yeah, that could have been your choice. That could have been you. You could have had it as £2 a pop if you'd been in charge.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Oh, Greg, think about this.
Keeping on the track of Crawley Town, they just recently signed Dom Telford, obviously somewhat of a decent goal scorer. You look at his record for Newport, I think it's 52 games. He scored nearly 30. That's quite a decent signing, that. I don't know if anybody who knows much about Dom Telford would say, if you can get him firing on all cylinders, surely to God in League Two. Do you know Dom Telford? But
yeah, he's a cracking goal scorer. I think he's a cracking goal scorer. I just think he needs. I can't remember who it was now. Who played alongside him for Newport. He needs I can't remember the fella's name now. There was a fellow who was assisting him quite a lot for Newport last season, who I think has gone elsewhere as well, but not Crawley. I think without, again, I'm hoping somebody will be able to correct me on this when I bring the fella's name up, whose name completely escapes me. Do apologise to the person. I think without him, Telford may struggle, possibly. He seems to score his goals in bursts, from what I remember. He seems to score every week for about 2-3 months and then goes on a barren spell. Because my view being, if he'd scored that many goals, then Newport would have made the playoffs last season. Whereas they fell away, rather like Tranmere, but arguably more dramatically. They completely fell away. So he's an interesting player. He could play above League Two. I do like the look of him. Wasn't he player of the season last season in League Two? Or no, it was a Forest Green player, wasn't he? I think he was nominated, wasn't he, for centre forward of the season or something like that. I could be wrong, where he got in the team of the season, or I don't know. I do like Dom Telford, but then you see these players have like 1 or 2 good seasons in the right blend of a team, and then they go to another side and it just doesn't work out for them. I don't know.
Newport's really. Finn Azaz.
It might be Finn Azaz.
League Two player of the year. Yeah, that's much better pronunciation.
It might be Finn Azaz, who was the one who was like helping Dom Telford out, and you're thinking, well, Finn Azaz, is he going to be? No, so I said his name a few times now to make sure I definitely knew it. Obviously, I completely remembered him.
It's actually changed all 4 times we've said it. We've got the Finn bit right though, which congratulations to Finn.
Yeah,
changing the name to Debo is quick these days.
Yeah, you definitely won't be listening, Finn, but if you are, we do apologise for 1, forgetting your name and then pronouncing it wrong about 20 times.
And 2, for being completely illiterate. I'll speak for myself.
I mean, the simple fact is, have an easier name to pronounce, Finn. That'll be, it's your fault.
Yeah, Finn, it's your fault.
For having such a complicated sounding name.
Blame his parents for that one.
It's really not that difficult. Finn, Azaz, it's not difficult, but it's hey. So, League Two. League Two will be League Two. League Two will always be just your combination of dog and duck football, a bit of quality, and, as always, impossible to call. Yes, Greg, one.
I just want to crowbar a little one in and then we can move on from League Two. But the King is returned to Rochdale. The King is returned, Ian Henderson. 128 goals. 128
League Two
goals.
side who can sign a striker. I like it. I like the sound of that.
You went.
Oh, sorry, did I go off? I said a League Two side that can sign a striker. I like the sound of that.
You've gone into a bit of a robotic voice there, Deck. I think the internet went down a little bit.
You might want to say that again, mate. Sorry, I don't think we heard that.
Your internet's gone a bit funny, I think, Deck.
Am I back now?
Yes, you are now. So
excellent. I can talk rubbish again. I've actually forgotten my point. Oh, yeah. A League Two side who can sign a striker. I like the sound of that.
It was getting to the point where I was hoping Rose would be getting James Vaughan out of retirement. It was getting that bad. But yeah, I know. What a great sign for Dale. I know we'd had a few years at Salford. And I know the Dale fans are buzzing he's back. How old is he now? About 40? Though, to be fair.
Yeah.
He's
37.
No age.
No, don't get me wrong. He's a very fit guy, and he's I don't mean that in like a hey, I'm coming out. Kind of
hello.
But
steady on, Jimmy.
Yeah, hello.
He's good looking.
He's good looking. Don't get me wrong. He's a good looking bloke, but I'm not that way inclined. Even if I was, I wouldn't be that bothered. But no, he looks after himself. You can tell, and he's still going to add something. And he's going to be that experience.
He's like Ronaldo.
I know you.
Oh yeah,
and he's the League Two.
Ronaldo.
He's the League Two Ronaldo.
Basically the same.
Of course he is. He's the Rochdale Ronaldo. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, that's the one. Right.
It's going to be interesting because obviously we briefly spoke about this in the group chat, but obviously nearly 130 goals in his first stint at Rochdale, and there was something that I used to always see on Twitter about how his goal averages were on level with Aguero at the time, or something ridiculous, and I was thinking, what? And it was like him and Aguero every other week or whatever it is. So yes, he obviously he was good when he was in his early 30s and things like that, and he's some iconic goals. He's 4 goals off the Rochdale all-time goal scoring list, which is Reg Jenkins. So he could potentially do it. He could just get 5 goals and he's there, which is something that obviously.
How long is his contract, Greg? Is it 2 years?
It's 1 year. with an idea to roll in whatever you want to call it. So
Not-
it's one year contract.
Not being that guy, I would quite laugh.
Say that again, Matt.
I'd say I would quite laugh if we got to May and he hadn't broken the goal scoring record. That would be a little bit funny.
I mean, it wouldn't, and it would. Bit of irony.
Can I
I'd laugh.
point out how long has
True,
Rochdale's
that's right.
goal scoring record been standing for? Because
50.
your top goal scorer ever, he's called Reg. That's a long time ago. No one's been called Reg since about 1953.
Yeah, exactly.
Apart from Reg Dwight, but he's not a footballer.
Have we got a cat on the podcast? Is that?
We have a
Yeah,
podcast.
it's next door's cat.
Oh wow.
Hey,
How many animals stray into your house?
I don't know.
It's like a zoo.
It's a lot. That's Jake. This is next door's cat. He just wanders in.
That's the first cat we've had on the pod.
He's a bloody fat cat.
He can hear you,
He can hear you, yeah.
Is he Steve Evans' cat?
I'm going to say we should get Steve Evans, yeah. Let's put that
I
around.
was not calling him Steve Evans.
Steve Evans.
No
cat,
one's got that
there's the name of
reference.
the
Is he
podcast.
called
Steve
Gammon?
Evans' cat. There you go.
We've got it finally. Steve Evans'
Fantastic.
cat.
Oh, amazing. Right, moving
There
on
it is,
to
gents.
Steve-
We can sign off now. We've got the
That's it,
name
yeah,
of episode
repeat.
1.
Got it sorted. Right, join us next time. No,
Sports Social Podcast Network.